If you find yourself running from one appointment to the next, physical therapy on Mondays and Wednesdays, occupational therapy on Tuesdays, speech therapy squeezed in on Fridays, plus weekly sensory integration sessions, and maybe even ABA or other behavioral interventions, all while trying to manage a strict, restrictive diet and administer what feels like 50 to 100 different supplements, vitamins, detox agents, and homeopathics every single day, I want you to know you're not alone. And more importantly, I want you to know you're not missing anything. You're not failing your child. The truth is, you might actually be doing too much. In the quest to help your child heal, develop, and regulate, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly adding more therapies, more protocols, more supplements without realizing that their nervous system may already be at or beyond capacity. When the brain and body are stuck in a constant state of stress, sympathetic overload, vagus nerve dysfunction, subluxation, dysautonomia, we call it so many different things. Even well intentioned interventions can become overstimulating, and in some cases, even counterproductive. That's why so many families we work with report that despite doing everything right, their child is still stuck, plateaued, or even regressing. It's not because you haven't found the perfect protocol and the right combination of therapies. It's because healing doesn't come from piling on more. It comes from starting at the foundation. And oftentimes, the most powerful next step isn't another supplement or session, but rather taking a step back, calming the chaos, and working to first regulate and restore the nervous system. This video is for parents who are exhausted, whose children are enrolled in multiple therapies but are experiencing plateaus, regression, or have continued struggles despite significant investments in time, money, and energy in various interventions. We're going to be revealing why multiple beneficial therapies can actually cancel each other out when applied to an already overwhelmed nervous system, and how understanding proper sequencing, starting with the nervous system restoration and regulation first, can transform your child's therapy journey from exhausting to extraordinary. We've found that on average, a child with autism spectrum disorder is enrolled in 3 to 5 different therapies that are done each and every week. Takes between 5 and 20 various supplements, and their parents report having tried, on average, 3 to 5 different restrictive diet changes to help them heal. The total load, when you combine therapies, whether that's ABA, speech, OT, PT, special ed, with supplements and detoxes and strict diets, many level 3 autism families are managing 15 to 30 separate daily to dos, which can easily become overwhelming and sometimes counterproductive, especially if the underlying nervous system dysregulation isn't addressed first. So let's begin this video by first understanding what healing interventions overload really is. Healing interventions overload, it's what we call when multiple beneficial therapies overwhelm a child's already dysregulated nervous system, causing individual interventions to work against each other rather than building synergistically toward improvement. Think of your child's nervous system like a computer with limited processing power. When too many tabs are open and too many programs are running simultaneously, the entire system slows down or crashes. You can also think of your child's nervous system like a circuit board. If it's already miswired, overloaded, plugging in too many things at once, even good therapies can trip the system and blow a fuse. And this explains why kids with subluxation and nervous system dysregulation often struggle with sleep, meltdowns, sensory overload, and even seizures or motor tics when their system gets overwhelmed from too many therapies happening all at once. So then why can good therapies, quote unquote, go bad? When your child's nervous system is stuck in sympathetic dominance, essentially living in a constant fight or flight state, it operates like a smartphone with a dying battery. Every function becomes about survival and energy conservation, not growth and not learning. Stressed nervous systems drain energy in a hierarchy, starting with the gut and the GI system, which often struggles with motility, absorption, assimilation, and elimination as a result, causing the child to chronically not feel good and therefore struggle in their therapies. Second, the motor system suffers through delayed milestones, poor coordination, hypertonicity, hypotonicity, spasms, weak core strength, resulting in crawling delays, W sitting, toe walking, incoordination, gait issues that stall out and are harder to address with PT or OT alone. And then speech issues are also at their root a neuromotor dysfunction because with speech there needs to be proper perception, proper coordination, and then execution, which are intertwined with the quality of the neuromotor system. Third, immune function deteriorates, leading to chronic inflammation, frequent ear infections, antibiotics, more infections, asthma, and autoimmune conditions. If your child is sick all the time, they either can't even make it to therapies or can't get much out of them because they're still struggling. And this is why millions of kids today still struggle with chronic gut issues despite having pristine diets and thousands of dollars worth of supplements. The problem is not with their nutrition, it's with their neurology. So the answer isn't to abandon these beneficial therapies, it's to understand the proper sequence for introducing them, creating what we call the multiplier effect, where each intervention becomes exponentially more effective. We're going to break this down into multiple phases. Phase one focuses exclusively on high frequency, neurologically focused chiropractic care. This is going to address subluxation patterns and restore proper nervous system function. We've got to start with the foundation, implementing a less is more approach by pausing most other major interventions. Consider this as building the foundation. We've got to start with the nervous system because it's the system that regulates every other system of the body. Phase two strategically reintroduces support for the core four functions: sleep, gut and immune function, immune balance, and motor development. These foundational systems must be online before higher level functions like speech or academic learning can develop properly. The best place to start within phase two is the motor system, as you'll now see your child be able to benefit so much more from PT, OT, and speech therapy once their nervous system becomes better regulated. It's connected, it's coordinated. In most cases, when a full care plan of neurologically focused chiropractic is done right and done fully, coordination gets better, core strength returns, and even things like primitive reflexes will fade and integrate on their own. And finally, after working with the neuromotor system, after it's working better, you can begin to support the gut and immune system and work on detoxification and elimination more smoothly, safely, and effectively. And then phase three is when the magic happens, when a regulated nervous system and stable foundational functions, previously ineffective therapies can produce these dramatic results. And children with regulated autonomic function, their nervous system's doing better, they're going to experience exponentially better therapy gains. And they're going to start to really catch up. That's when it's really cool to see them get back on track developmentally. And this is where the breakthroughs happen, where those big goals you had, the seizures, the speech, the behavior, the social, emotional, behavioral regulation, anxiety, OCD, panic attacks, motor tics, that deeper neurological healing is being uncovered. And it's not us necessarily that's doing the healing. It's not the adjustments. It's not the therapies. It's your child. They're doing the healing on the inside. That's the way that God designed it. When given the opportunity to heal, the body does it. And that opportunity we see comes more often when we approach the foundation of healing in this sequential way. Is the nervous system dysregulated? Yes? Okay, let's start there. Let's get them the care they need to first uncover and rewire that dysfunction. Then from there, where's the struggle? Is their neuromotor system working appropriately and efficiently? Continuing on, how is their gut and immune health? What supports and protocols can we now add to further the opportunity to allow healing to take place? So you may be asking yourself, okay, so with phase one, step one, how do I find out if my child is dysregulated and overloaded? Start first by just doing an honest gut check on their progress and what your parent gut is telling you might be going on. Are they moving things forward, leaving your child stuck, or making things worse? Second, consider getting them scanned. We at Rising Health, we use advanced insight scanning technology to precisely measure nervous system dysregulation, subluxation, and vagus nerve dysfunction to see if your child's nervous system is completely overloaded, if it's overwhelmed and exhausted, meaning they would struggle to gain benefit from other integrated therapies when their system is this way. And when parents see this, when they see the scans, it gives them the confidence to trust the process and resist the urge to add more interventions prematurely. Because clinically, we know that scans will often improve before the signs and symptoms do, which means true foundational neurological healing is happening first. If everything we talked about in this video sounds all too familiar and you'd like to learn more about healing interventions overload, the insight scans, and how to learn more about the sequencing of optimal healing, click the link in our bio, comment below, or send us a DM. We'd love to help you. That's all for this one. Have a wonderful day.